Good evening, good evening, good evening. Great evening, Orangeburg County School District family. I'm Hayward John, Director of Student Services. And on behalf of our department, the Department of Student Services, and our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Lana Calloway, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Sean Foster, we want to welcome you to the PACE Scholarship Academy virtual information session. We're really excited about sharing with you some vital information that is for your present and more importantly for your future. We're really excited about tonight. I definitely want to thank Mrs. Arthur, our school counselor coordinator, who and all the career counselors and guidance school counselors that have been doing a tremendous job at putting our scholars, our students in position to win. I want to give you briefly a little bit about our speaker tonight. She is a hero, in my opinion. I mean, it just what I've been reading about, I've been really excited to share with you. I'm going to be taking notes as a parent. So listen to this. The PACE Scholarship Academy provides comprehensive presentations to assist 8th through 12th grade students through scholarship preparation, seeking, and achievement process. PACE Scholarship Academy educates students on how to effectively utilize their grades, economic status, personal circumstances, and extracurricular involvement to establish eligibility enhancers to fill their financial gaps. The PACE Scholarship Academy offers opportunities for program participants to analyze and study the scholarship achievement process into practical terms. PACE Scholarship Academy will educate participants that is not always individuals with the best grade point average or the highest SAT/ACT scores who obtain scholarships. Instead, PACE Scholarship Academy will work with students and ensure that they thoroughly grasp the concept that most scholarships are awarded to individuals who present the best preparation and organization. You don't want to miss this. By attending a PACE Scholarship Academy workshop, the students will be well organized, listen to this, and trained to meet the challenges of locating, completing, and acquiring scholarships. I'm excited already. If a student aspires to understand and get started on the scholarship process, desires to win multiple scholarship awards, or get help beginning or perfecting their scholarship essays, then everyone should participate in at least one PACE Scholarship Academy workshop. Students should not wait until the spring of their senior year, and definitely do not wait until you know more about the college you want to attend. The program is designed for middle and high school students and educators in every discipline. The most successful scholarship applicants start early. Now, a little bit about the founder before Ms. Milbauer comes forward. The PACE Scholarship Academy was founded by certified professional school counselor Melinda Milbauer. Counselor Milbauer has assisted thousands of students in securing scholarships to colleges and universities in multiple states, including her daughter. I want you to lean in on this one, including her daughter, watch this, who received 63 scholarships. And I'm not done, y'all. Watch this, 13 true full ride offers, no out of pocket expenses to fund her college education. Counselor Milbauer encourages all parents and students to believe, watch this, that full rides are possible. Orangeburg County School District family, please welcome to our virtual stage Miss Melinda Milbauer. Thank you, Miss Milbauer, for being with us tonight.
Good evening. Okay, I am officially going to take you on the road with us.
Let's go.
You can truly be my hype man. I've never heard anybody do my intro
Wow.
like that. So I'm definitely going to need a copy of this recording afterwards so I can share. So good evening, everyone. So again, my name is Melinda Milbauer. And most people struggle with Milbauer. So my students and most of my coworkers at Woodland High School call me Miss M, and so I answer to that. And I want to give you a deeper understanding of how I got started with PACE Scholarship Academy. That's the intro that my oldest daughter wrote when we started this program. So you can find that online. But I love to tell people just my journey and how I really got started. And so as they said early in the intro, I am a high school counselor. I'm the scholarship coordinator at Woodland High School as well. Before I started at Woodland, I actually used to be a school counselor in Darlington County at a little school called Lamar High School. And there, when I was working with my students at Lamar, I started helping my church members and then my brother and sister who were going through this process. But again, it was a learning process then. They were in their senior year. My brother and sister are twins. My brother has cerebral palsy. So wanted to help my parents offset the cost of having to pay for two children to go to school at the same time. So we started looking for scholarships then. So there are scholarships that are available for students who have a disability, who've overcome obstacles, who've been bullied, being a twin. So a lot of those scholarships allowed my brother and sister. My brother went to USC on a full ride, and my sister, not her first year at College of Charleston, but second, third, and fourth year at College of Charleston, she still continued to apply for scholarships in college. And so she didn't have to pay for her last 3 years. She went in with some scholarships during her first year at College of Charleston, but not enough to be what we call a true full ride. So she did have a bill. So most parents and students who haven't figured it out by the end of their senior year in high school sometimes stop and they don't continue to apply for scholarships. And there are still thousands and thousands of scholarships that are available for students while in college and in graduate school as well. So parents, if you're on, you may want to take some notes for yourselves if you're interested in going back to school or continuing with your education. So I left Lamar, went over to Woodland High School, started partnering with some of the programs in our school. We had TRIO in our school, we had Gear Up in our school. They allowed me to travel on a lot of field trips in different colleges and universities. And I really learned about those institutional funds and some of those private scholarship organizations that are offering money for students just by simply following some simple techniques that skills that I'm going to give to you guys tonight. And so I continued working with my students at Woodland, church members, people that I randomly would meet in Walmart and the mall. And then my oldest daughter that I will reference probably a few times in this presentation, but she was my true test. She was in the house. We started this in 7th grade. Most parents and students think, you just pick up a scholarship application and fill it out, cross your fingers and hope you win. But we learned that there's a process to it and you really have to start preparing early. So I always say preparation is the key. So we started around 7th or 8th grade and made sure she joined multiple clubs and organizations. So she played sports, she played basketball, she played volleyball. When she entered Sumter High School, same thing I'm doing with my 10th grader now. We made sure that she was a well-rounded student. So yes, she played volleyball, but the reality of it was you're not going to get a full ride with volleyball. And so we wanted to make sure that she had a chance to receive those scholarships. So to be a well-rounded student, you have to join multiple clubs and organizations, not just in school, but out of school in your community. And there are some virtual organizations as well. You have to volunteer in the community. And so it takes a lot to be a well-rounded student. So when you do create your resume, that marketing tool can be your voice for you when you can't speak to those scholarship organizations. And a lot of these scholarship organizations are looking for well-rounded students, like the Coca-Cola Scholarship. The year that she was one of 250 students that won, there were 280,000 students that applied across the country for that particular scholarship. And I learned about the Coca-Cola Scholarship when she was in 7th grade. And I knew that you have to do a lot and you have to be a well-rounded student in order to compete with close to 300,000 students across the country for that scholarship. So my daughter graduated from Sumter High School, as he said, with 63 scholarships and 13 full rides. I'm very open and transparent about our journey. There were days that we didn't talk to each other. There were days that she would be mad at me. She would get stickies on the front door after volleyball practice. Do not come up my stairs until you finish this essay or you fill out this application. And we started early. And so, we made sure that we communicated with each other. So when she did graduate, she did receive 63 scholarships, 13 full rides. She was not a Val, not a Sal, not a top 10, not a top 20 student. Well-rounded, did very well at Sumter High School, graduated with 39 college credits. went in as a second semester sophomore. And to me, that's a year and a half of school you don't have to pay for, because those courses were paid for by Sumter High. So she went in with those scholarships. She never had to pay. And when I say a true full ride, she received a very nice refund check each semester and even in the summer. So no, she did not have to pay for school. So we decided, instead of just randomly meeting people in the mall and in Walmart and Target, that we wanted to find an organized way to put this information out to parents and students and educators. And so that is how we started PACE Scholarship Academy. We offer free informational workshops. We offer scholarship boot camps. We offer essay writing workshops. And we offer extreme boot camps. Our extreme boot camps have become very popular since we are now virtual. With a lot of our events, we stayed very busy since March. We have partnered with, I think we're up to 63 TRIO programs across the country and multiple high schools across the country. What we are really known for, I guess now, is our statewide scholarship and college fair. So this year, will be our 4th year. Mark your calendars. It will be virtual, cross your fingers. We have partnered with the team from TED Talk, and they are going to help us put this event on. March 13th is the South Carolina event, and then March 20th is the national event. So we're inviting a lot of the TRIO and the Gear Up programs across the country. But for South Carolina specifically, we will host that event March 13th. So please mark your calendars for that event. We are able to travel and do all of these different things because we have actually written and published 3 ultimate scholarship books. And we have used the proceeds from those books, which is what we're known for with the fairs, because we give away laptops each year, the 75 laptops, the $5,500 scholarships. We give away gift cards, books, anything you can think of at our scholarship fairs. So we have been receiving a number of inquiries about, are we going to offer this opportunity again? Are we giving away laptops again at the fairs? And yes, we are. And we will host our essay contest to give away those $500 scholarships as well. So if you're ever interested in purchasing our books, again, the proceeds will go to those events. You can always order them on our website, and I will show you that towards the end. I do have one video from our fair that we had at Sumter High. I think this was at Sumter High this past year, and I was going to share this quick video with you guys, and then we will go into our presentation. I think it's up. Okay. And we had a number of what I call all-stars at this particular fair this year. We had our Miss South Carolina team. We had our South Carolina Teacher of the Year, who I dearly love, Shanda Jefferson. We had a number of queens from across the country, across the state, that attended our event. And so we were very excited that the word is spreading about this program. You will also see another student in here who did one scholarship. I hope you guys are taking notes tonight as I share about different scholarships. There's a program that's called QuestBridge. And this particular student that will speak did one scholarship application and he got a full ride to Yale. So again, if you don't know about QuestBridge is a very intense scholarship application that students participate in, but the results, a full ride to Yale, you can't beat that.
My name's Morgan Nichols, Miss South Carolina.
And I'm Kellen Finnegan, Miss South Carolina teen.
And we are so excited to be here at this scholarship day at Sumter High School because it is so important for everything that they are doing. Right now, student debt is at the largest it's ever been, and so applying for scholarships is so important. But my message to everyone is that they are out there. You just got to take the time to go and find them. I won $84,000 through the Miss America organization, and I never would have believed that that opportunity was available to me until I really really started looking. And so my biggest piece of advice is to go look for scholarships because they are out there, and you could ultimately end up with a full ride and graduate debt-free.
Absolutely, and I would say just to look for those opportunities. So similar to Morgan, you really need to listen to your adults, find those opportunities, and truly go for them, because you never know what can happen as long as you try for them. And I've been able to get over $20,000 from the Miss South Carolina organization through my 3 years of competing. So there are opportunities all over.
Exactly, and a little bit more specific advice. For me, what I did for my scholarships is write one essay and have that essay in your back pocket, and then tailor your essay to each scholarship that you're applying for. So rather than writing 16 different essays for 16 different scholarships, write one essay that you can really apply to all of those scholarships, ultimately optimizing your ability to get funds. So stay on the lookout for those scholarships.
My name is Gabriele Montori, and I'm a senior at Woodland High School. Scholarships are really important because a lot of people have different financial situations, and as college costs are steadily rising, the need for money is critical. Really being able to apply for scholarships and get as much money as you can, and trying to minimize or even avoid your loans is the best route you can take. And one way to do that is to go to scholarship fairs like the one we have here, and talk to people who have resources for scholarships wherever you are, and just be on an active hunt for scholarship.
And I'm going to stop that here just for the sake of time. I don't want to have to show the whole video, but again, mark your calendars if you're interested in registering this year for our statewide scholarship and college fair. Again, hopefully you have something to take notes with. They did want me to ask that you hold your questions to the end, and if you have any questions, I guess at the end you will put it in the chat, and then someone will share those questions with me, and I will try my best to answer them. All right, so of course, we're talking about scholarships, and of course they're a type of financial assistance to a student, and they're awarded based on merit or specific requirements. You know, we try to educate our students, even in our boot camps, and parents as well, to know the difference between national, state, and local level scholarships. And again, if you do not follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Pay Scholarship Academy, Instagram, Pay Scholarship Academy, we pretty much share one, if not two scholarships every day. So, you know, when people say they don't know about any scholarships, if you just scroll back 365 days in 2020, we have scholarships that we share every day, and the direct links to those scholarship pages as well. And so sometimes one of the biggest questions people will ask, I will put on there, you know, this is a local level scholarship for, you know, students in Dorchester, Berkeley, or, you know, Charleston County. Then I have some of the followers in Ohio or California. Do we qualify for these scholarships? So this is something we teach parents and students, the difference between national, state, and local level scholarships. And I'm going to share the difference between those in the next few slides. Scholarship committees are searching for students who are worthy of their money. And that's one thing students and parents, you both have to figure out. And you will always notice that I will say students and parents, because in some shape, form, or fashion, this is a team effort. People don't believe that. You know, parents, I know sometimes you're not able to read the students' essays. You aren't able to help them prep for the ACT and SAT, but it can be a team effort just simply by telling them to participate in a workshop, you know, that your district is, you know, doing tonight, or going to their English teacher or going to their math teacher to get additional assistance to, you know, increase their score on their ACT or SAT. Because again, there's a strategic way to prepare, search, and apply for scholarships. And once students figure that out, you know, it's easier for them to win multiple scholarships for school. And again, the most successful scholarship recipients have simply figured out ways to use their skills, their talents, and their passions. And again, if you ever had the opportunity to come to Woodland High School, everyone knows that Ms. M is a strong advocate for being a well-rounded student. I believe in getting involved in clubs and organizations. You do not have to get involved in clubs and organizations through your high school. There are a number of high school clubs and organizations available, but there are also community clubs and organizations, and there are also virtual clubs and organizations. My 10th grader, who at one point said she was interested in engineering, we signed her up for the virtual NSBE, which is National Society of Black Engineers. There is a Charleston chapter, but we live in Sumter, so she didn't qualify to join that chapter. But they have a virtual chapter, and so we paid the membership fee for her to join that organization as well. She was also never able to join the Girl Scouts because the time that they were meeting, she had a conflict. She had another club that was meeting at the same time. So now during COVID, Girl Scouts have gone virtual. So we were given the opportunity for her to join the Girl Scouts as well. So again, try to encourage your students. I'm not sure what grade levels are on tonight, but when my daughter's in 10th grade now, but when she was in 9th grade, the very first week of school, I made her introduce herself to her school counselor. I made her find 5 clubs and organizations that she was interested in joining. And then we made sure that she knew how her school counseling office, announced any summer opportunities, any scholarships, where did they put this information? And so I knew where they put the information, but I needed her to know. So she could always be responsible for looking for that information. And so she would know who her school counselor was at Sumter High School. So again, do your research. I'm not going to go through each one of the clubs and organizations on the page today, but I will tell you there are a number of clubs and organizations that if a student is a consistent member of that club and organization, especially since 9th grade, there are a lot of scholarships that are available. Something else that students forget about when they graduate from high school. So again, if we have seniors on, when you go to college, start looking at your major. So if you're interested in criminal justice, start looking at these national programs. If you still pay your student membership fee on the national level while in college, you can actually apply for their scholarships if they offer them. Like criminal justice, the National Criminal Justice Association. There's the National Black Criminal Justice Association. South Carolina has a South Carolina chapter of the Criminal Justice Association, and they offer scholarships as well. So nursing, there's the National Nursing Association. There's the National Black Nurses Association. There's also a nursing sorority that I learned about 3 years ago, and they actually participate in our scholarship fairs. We have a chapter here in Sumter, and I learned about them a few years ago because for 2 or 3 years, they were searching, 2 or 3 years, they were searching for a potential nursing major to give $10,000 to in their junior year of college, and they couldn't find anyone. And so I said, come to our scholarship fair. We have, hundreds of students in college that attend our fairs, but to have difficulty searching, finding someone to give $10,000 to is unreal to me. But these situations go on, believe it or not, over and over again. I've had scholarship organizations that we posted their information on our page, and they'll email me and say they had 0 applicants, 0. I just had one just in our area that said if you qualify for free or reduced lunch, you could apply for this particular scholarship, and no one applied for this particular scholarship in our area. So, most parents and students think that everyone is applying for scholarships. They are not. And especially during COVID right now, I'm even struggling, and I work, as a school counselor, but there's a lot that's going on for students right now. A lot of students have gone to work for various reasons. Parents are, trying to work and make ends meet for, their situations that are going on at home, and people are missing a lot of deadlines that are available for scholarships. So they're out there. You do have to apply to, for these scholarships as well. Something else that I shared with the group the other day I know parents and students are getting excited that a lot of colleges and universities are waiving ACT and SAT scores to get into college. But I always tell people they can waive it for you to get in. That has nothing to do with waiving the bill. They are getting prepared right now to send out award letters because they need you to pay this bill. They may let your child in, but that does not mean that they will necessarily pay for your child to go to school there. You know, a lot of scholarship organizations, they are still looking for ACT and SAT scores. So I'm always encouraging students, when you see an available ACT testing date or SAT testing date, please take advantage of it if you can safely take the test, because you are now excluding yourself from that particular scholarship application if you do not meet all of the requirements. If you do not have an ACT or SAT score and they are asking for that score, you've now disqualified yourself because you do not meet all the requirements. And again, just a few of them that I wanted to share with you guys, even with the military at the bottom, you see the armed services. Last year, we had 9 former Woodland High School students graduate debt-free from college. They are all officers in the military now, and so we are definitely super proud of them. Do your research early for these colleges that offer the ROTC program, especially if your child is interested in attending. There are a number of colleges and universities that are willing to pay for their room and board. And if anybody on this call knows about room and board, that's half the battle. And especially if a lot of our students get Life Scholarship or Pell Medal Fellows and they get Pell Grant as well, pretty much they're done. Especially if you get that room and board paid for as well. So if you are interested in joining the ROTC program in college, just do your research. All right, so where to look for scholarships? Always check with your high school counselors. When you go to college, check with your college financial aid counselors. One of the things that we offer at our scholarship fairs is our student panel, and we bring in a lot of our all-stars who won multiple scholarships, you know, even full rides. I have one student who graduated from Dorman High School. She received 2 full ride offers to UNC Chapel Hill. Once we started with her second semester of her senior year, and by the time we finished with Maya, she had $500,000 in scholarships, over $500,000 in scholarships. And she's also an ambassador for the Obama Foundation. So she's doing some really great things. One of the things she shared was that her UNC Chapel Hill scholarship is very competitive. It says that she has to maintain a 3.8 GPA in order for her to keep this scholarship each semester. In her first semester, the student, her suite mate GPA fell below, it was a 3.741, and they took her scholarship back. And to me, I was like, oh my goodness, like they're going to do, that's so serious to me, but it's that competitive. And the little things like that really hits home to me. So you just make sure when you're doing your research for scholarships. Now, if that happened to Maya, she would have been okay because she had other scholarships. This was the only scholarship that this young lady received. And so she had to pack up and go back home for that particular semester. But make sure you have a good relationship with your college financial aid counselor. Academic advisors, check with local businesses and churches, parents, you know, check with your employer to see if they offer scholarships. One of the students, and I love profiling my students, sometimes they think I'm being nosy, you know, I'm like, where your mama work, where your daddy work? And I want to know these things because you never know if they offer scholarships. One of my students who was number 6 in her class was also a Pell Medal Fellow Scholarship recipient, but her mom worked at Walmart. And so Walmart said, and this is the last year for this, if you have at least a 2.5 GPA, GPA, they will give you $13,000. And so that particular student won that scholarship because I think your parent has to work there for at least 2 years. And again, she's in her 3rd year, pre-med student at USC. In Columbia right now. So again, you know, there are scholarships. When I say scholarships are everywhere, they really are. Everywhere. You just need to do your research. All right, so what scholarship committees are looking for? Now, there are some scholarships, they are looking at GPA, class rank, ACT and SAT scores, but we have found that a lot of scholarship organizations are looking for well-rounded students. And again, my oldest daughter, not in the top 20 of her class, received more scholarships than all the Val, LaSalle, the top 10 and the top 20 of her graduating class. So I've had a student who was number 47 in her class that received more scholarships because she was a Girl Scout, did a lot for her in her community as well. And so she received more scholarships than the students who ranked above her as well. Scholarship committees are looking for those strong leaders, students who have a lot of community service, extracurricular activities, those great essays, and then their success resumes as well. And so I'm going to show you an example of a success resume. Your success resume is what I call your marketing tool. So when you don't get the opportunity to speak to a scholarship organization, your success resume will definitely speak for you. And I didn't share earlier when I was doing my intro, right now we're at 717 students with full rides at multiple schools across the country, and 283 students who have received one or more scholarships with our assistance. And so that may be through our books or our scholarship fairs, through our boot camps that we host each year. Last year, we did 174 free informational workshops across South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina. So pretty much every day after school, I was getting in my car and driving somewhere before COVID to teach educators, parents, and students how to get this money for school. But I will tell you, my 717 full ride students across the country, two things I will tell you that they both have. They all have success resumes, and they all have scholarship binders. And I'll show you the scholarship binder once we finish. And again, this is just information that we encourage students to put on their resumes. I'm going to show you my 10th grader's resume. And if you can see this, so again, and she's saying something now because I'm showing her resume. So this is another version of her resume. And again, we have to add on additional things on her resume because there were some things that she actually participated in during first semester and did some volunteer work as well. But as you can see, when you send this to a scholarship organization, and again, I've already had feedback, she has already won 5 scholarships as a 10th grader. So we always send in, when we get the opportunity, a copy of her success resume. This will speak for you when you can, to see that this person is a well-rounded student. They're doing community service, on the honor roll, play a sport. Your resume is going to tell a story, right? So I always encourage students to create a resume. And then we do have examples of our resumes in our scholarship books as well. And other things you can list on there, any experiences or trainings. I'm always encouraging students to go to camps. So even when we were out during COVID, this year, a lot of camps were canceled for in-person camps. That didn't stop the virtual camps. And I still made sure my students participated in virtual camps as well. Any honors or awards or extracurricular activities that you may participate in. And I didn't share, one of my students that's actually a surgeon now, she has never paid for school. She could have graduated early from her high school. She was number 1. She was the Val of her school. Could have graduated early. We convinced her to stay at her school. She could have graduated as a junior. We convinced her to stay. She took advantage of the dual credit classes at her high school in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, she went to the career school. So not only is she a surgeon now, debt-free, she's a licensed cosmetologist as well. So to be a licensed cosmetologist, putting all of that information on her resume, being the Val of her class, all of that, just told a story to those scholarship organizations. And that's why she didn't have to pay for school. And so anything that I found for her, even in college, the links, Tylenol, Daughters of the American Revolution, there were some internships that she received. She never had to pay for college as well. You can put summer camps, conferences, and any other special interests on your resume as well. All right, so talking about search engines, there are probably about 20 search engines that are out there, and we do teach our students like how to set up their profiles for their scholarship search engines. I always tell students, don't create a username and password for 20 search engines. Pick one or two, because they will all pretty much tell you the same things. Coca-Cola scholarship, first round is always due October 31st each year for seniors. Horatio Alger scholarship, October 15th is always the first round of that scholarship. And I'm giving this, you know, so if we have freshmen, sophomores, and juniors on, hopefully you're taking notes. The Elks Most Valuable Student scholarship is offered each year. The VFW offers a scholarship for middle school students each year, which is called the Patriots Penn Scholarship. We've had 2 students to win that scholarship in 7th grade, which is $5,000. You can also do the Voice of Democracy Scholarship with the VFW. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students can apply for that scholarship each year as well. So they will pretty much tell you about national level scholarships. You're not going to get, you know, I'm just making this up, Orangeburg County's Red Hat Ladies Club scholarship on scholarships.com or FastWeb or Scholarly. You're going to find more of your national level scholarships. They may have some of those institutional scholarships like from USC or Claflin or Clemson, but you're not going to find a lot of your local and state level scholarships on these platforms. So again, use one or two of them. There's College Greenlight, there's Scholarly, there's CAPEX, there's collegeboard.com, there's FastWeb, Scholarly, and of course scholarships.com. And scholarships.com is my favorite search engine for parents and students. And just wanted to share a fun fact. I always stress to students that you do not have to wait until your senior year to start preparing, searching, and applying for scholarships. Scholarships are actually available in all grade levels, like the Optimist Club scholarship. So I'm the scholarship chair for that particular scholarship, and that is open to all grade levels. 2 years ago, we had a 4th grader that knocked out every middle and high school student for that scholarship in our local area, and she won $250 the first time and $2,500 the second time. A few years ago, and this is open right now if you follow us on Facebook, Doodle for Google is open for all grade levels. 3 years ago, a 6-year-old won $30,000 from Doodle for Google for that particular scholarship based on her artwork. So again, scholarships are available in all grade levels. You just have to do your research. But we also have published our 3rd book that we recently published is our National Ultimate Scholarship book for middle and high school students. And so that book is filled with scholarships. There are some elementary school scholarships, but most of them are catered towards middle and high school students as well. So just do your research, get organized, and be prepared to apply and win. All right, and just wanted to share with you guys some essay tips. I will tell you that this is probably one of the biggest reasons, other than missing deadlines and not following the directions. Your essay will probably be one of the reasons why students don't win scholarships. We have seen all types of essay submissions, especially for our essay contest. I'm not on the committee. My daughter was a professional English major. She's a grant writer now, and so she has a team that she put together to review our essays. We have seen things where the very first paragraph had 14 mistakes. So if you send in essay submissions like that to a scholarship organization, they're not going to take their time to read the rest of your essay when the very first paragraph has 14 mistakes. We have seen one that have simply said, my mom made me do this. I have absolutely nothing to say. And that is their essay submission. And they did it because their mother told them to. And that's all they put in their entry as well. So parents, always tell parents, if you can, check behind your students before they submit their applications and their essays. And again, we have our essay writing boot camps that have become very popular. We have 2 certified English teachers that are my go-to people for anything. So even with my 10th grader now, my daughter will proof, but then I will also get my certified English teachers to proof. I believe in getting multiple people to prove. Highlight your accomplishments, explain like if you've overcome any obstacles, add personal touches to your essays. And before you start, think about what the scholarship organizations are really looking for. Have others proof your essays before you send them out. Always tell people, you know, you already think your essay is perfect, so you don't think there are mistakes. That's why, you know, you still need to let other people, you know, read your essays. Make sure your essay stands out. I talked to a group Saturday, and there's an essay that there's a scholarship that I posted, and we were just kind of bouncing off ideas about how they can, you know, do something different. And, you know, these days, you know, students, they're going through the pandemic, they're going through COVID. One of our students, one of the essay topics was, if you could change one thing about high school, what would that be? And, you know, one of our seniors talked about she will probably never get to participate in prom. She didn't get to participate as a junior, and she probably won't get to participate as a senior. So she is willing to share that experience as well, and talking about, you know, if she could change that outcome. And then go online if you can and review other winning essays. There's a current scholarship that's out right now for seniors through the South Carolina Vote Rehab Department, scvrd.net. You do not have to have a disability to apply for this scholarship. They will ask the students to write a 3-page paper, and it just opened. I think the deadline is March 1st. But the 3-page paper will allow students to go to any South Carolina public college or university in South Carolina of their choice, as long as they get accepted, and their tuition will be paid for a 3-page paper. And most students across South Carolina do not apply for that scholarship. And it's currently open now. We've also posted that on our Facebook page, and it's also in our Ultimate Scholarship book as well. So just do your research, because some of those scholarship organizations are looking for essays. So I just wanted to share with you guys tonight about national level scholarships. National level means your competition is any public, private, homeschool, charter school student across the country. So as long as they meet the eligibility requirements, they can apply for those scholarships. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of national level scholarships. Even during Christmas break, I was searching for something and I stumbled upon 400 scholarships that I've never heard of. And all I could do is just start and say, I'll come back to that later. I'll come back, you know, to that after first semester. I'm always finding scholarships. Even when we post things on our Facebook and our Instagram pages, usually there are scholarships that I just happen to find, and I'll just say, oh, let me just post that one because it's not in the book. So again, scholarships are everywhere. Like the Taco Bell Live My Scholarship just recently closed. And it said if you're between the ages of 16 to 24, so that's high school and college students as well, they ask you to submit a 2-minute video and you can win $25,000. And they were giving away multiple scholarships for the Taco Bell Live My Scholarship as well. So just do your research about national level scholarship, because again, they are out there. State level scholarships means that your competition is in the state that you live in. Well, we live in South Carolina, so every public, private, homeschool, charter school student across our great state, that is your competition. So as long as they meet the eligibility requirements for those particular scholarships, they can apply for them. Just wanted to touch on a few of them. You know, if you participated in Boys State or Girls State this past year, they did not have camp, the week-long camp, but they got their letter. So that means that they were officially accepted into Girls State and Boys State. They got their T-shirts. It's official. So there was a scholarship, the Samsung scholarship, that those students could apply for. But this is also something great that students can put on their success resume, because Boys State and Girls State is, I mean, everyone knows about Girls State and Boys State, so they can add that information to their success resume. Mark your calendar, seniors, February 1st, I believe, the South Carolina State Fair Scholarship will officially come out. That's one of the 63 that Chanel actually won. I love South Carolina State Fair Scholarship Really easy. I think you have to have a minimum, I think of a 2.5 or a 3.0. I think a 3.0. You have to also maintain a 3.0 GPA each semester while you're in college in order for them to disperse those funds each semester. But they will give a total of $6,000 to 50 students across South Carolina. Name, address, phone number, upload a picture, write a 2-page paper. I think the topic either last year or the year before was, when you hear the words South Carolina State Fair, what comes to mind? Easy. Not a hard thing to do. The James Burns Scholarship, if a student has lost one or both of their parents, again, we posted that on our social media platforms as well. They are strong supporters of our scholarship fair. The James F. Burns Scholarship Foundation offers scholarships, $17,000 to students who have lost one or both of their parents. So I actually have a student who will be graduating actually this year from Clemson. He is on a full ride at Clemson, and this is one of the 19 scholarships that he actually received. So it's the James Burns Scholarship. He lost his mother when he was 2 months old. She sacrificed her life to save his. I learned about that in 10th grade, and I immediately knew he's going to apply for the James Burns Scholarship. And so he went through an interview, I went through an interview, and he was actually one of the scholarship recipients as well. South Carolina Teaching Fellows, if students are interested in education, they offer this scholarship. We pretty much have 1 or 2 teaching fellow scholarship recipients every year. We've kind of figured that one out as well with our participants. Joy Law Firm offers 6 $2,000 scholarships for students each year. South Carolina Business Week, they did not have Business Week this past year, but they normally offer 4 scholarships for students as well. And I think Chanel started going in her freshman year, and she did not win until her junior year. So again, you know, she was determined, she kept going, and she actually won, you know, 2 years later. But Business Week, they do offer scholarships. Do your research about the South Carolina Educational Lottery, because again, those scholarship opportunities are available for students who graduate from a program in South Carolina. And then the one that I talked about earlier about the 3-page paper, that's the Governor's Committee on Employment of People with Disabilities. Again, you do not have to have a disability to apply for the South Carolina Vote Rehab Department, scvrd.net scholarship. So just do your research. This is the season now. I think my time is coming up. This is the season now for local and state level scholarships. I've been sending out things 2, 3, 4 times a week to our students, you know, to start applying for these scholarships. They are out there, so you need to make sure that you apply for those local and state level scholarships as well. All right, and so finally, these some scholarship tips. One thing I want to share, you know, this is my 10th grader, even though this is a book that we published, she's still going through it too. So these are like her little tabs, you know, things that she, you know, wants to apply for as well. And then this is also, and I told you that my 717 students all have success resumes. They all have binders as well. So this is actually my 10th grader. This is our 3rd binder. And I think by the time Chanel graduated, we had 9 binders put in place, and we have different things in the binders, like her success resume, if I can show you this stuff. So like a copy of her success resume, we have a tab like for her transcripts. You want to keep the most up-to-date copy of your transcript in your binder, because sometimes scholarship organizations will ask you questions that will come directly from your transcript. We keep copies of her essays in her binder, and I'm just showing you some of the things, and you can set your binder up however you want. This is just how she set hers up. And then she has one for recommendation letters, community service, and then she breaks her scholarships down, you know, by the month of the year. And so again, we have, you know, 3 binders now. And so those scholarships are like flyers, scholarship applications. If she's not ready to apply for those scholarships now, we put them in sheet protectors and put them in the binders as well. All of my students, they either do Excel spreadsheets or Google Docs, but most of them swear by the binder. It's just the old school way of keeping up with those scholarship applications as well. Remember to apply for small scholarships. Sometimes students will overlook the $250, $500, even the $1,000 scholarships. Sometimes students think that's too small for them. They're looking for those, $10,000 and $20,000 scholarships, but never overlook the small scholarships. Make sure you write essays and have them edited. Stay organized. This can be an overwhelming experience. Most people think you apply for one scholarship on a Tuesday, and maybe 2 weeks later, apply for another scholarship. Just to be honest with you, sometimes I always tell our students on average, you really need to apply for 7 to 10 each week, and there are just that many that are out there. So for someone like Maya, who won 47 scholarships, she probably did 3-4 times that many scholarships just to receive 47. And I know with Chanel, she did, with 63, she did 2 or 3 times that many. We were turned down, over and over again. And so that's okay. But once you figure out a really great routine, you will start winning those scholarships as well. So make sure you never give up as well. And so that is the end of the presentation. I did that on time, 6:50. If there are any questions, I'm going to stop my screen. And so if anyone has any questions.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? We do have some questions. I want to say congratulations and thank you, though, Ms. Milbauer, for this phenomenal movement that you have started. This has been really good, but I do have some questions. So here we go. One question is this: how do students qualify for TRIO and Gear Up?
So it depends on the program. We don't have Gear Up at our school anymore. Gear Up, I think, is based on their cohort. So I don't think there's no qualification for it. When they start over in 7th grade, whatever class that is that starts with that 7th grade is their Gear Up class that they follow throughout middle school and high school. That's how Gear Up works. TRIO, there are 3 different programs for TRIO. I don't know if Orangeburg has TRIO, but we have it through Trident Technical College. So there is Upward Bound, there's the Talent Search, and then there's our Upward Bound Math Science program. And so we used to have Talent Search at our school, but we now have the Math Science program at our school as well. So you would have to contact, if there's a TRIO program in Orangeburg County to see how they will qualify.
Okay, thank you. Another question is this: are there video submissions for some scholarship applications? Like, do they require?
Yeah, so like I talked about the Taco Bell, the Live My Scholarship, they had one where you submitted a 2-minute video and you could win $25,000. That one is already closed.
Gotcha.
But it's an annual scholarship.
Okay. All right. When it comes to deadlines and competitive scholarships, is that important to beat deadlines or meet deadlines? What's the importance of that?
And I have no solution for that, because I tell people my students will ride that deadline, really close. I believe in if you could turn it in early, because then, the scholarship organization is not, pressed about, okay, I've got 500 applications I have to read through. But if you turn yours in ahead of the competition, they can really spend quality time, on your application and review your application. Personal opinion, but I've done this long enough to say, does that happen? It does not. even with my children, it does not.
Wow. So with your children, how early is it important to start when it comes to
applying or
preparing scholarship binders?
So I have a 10th grader now. We've been doing this since 8th grade with her. Chanel started in 7th grade. When I said that, just making sure she joined different clubs and organizations and was out there doing community service and through the church, volunteering in the community. even in high school, at the voter registration booth, just, different things, creative things. My 10th grader, I think this past summer during COVID, she got her entire 10th grade class. They each just wrote one greeting card for people, and they dispersed them to the nursing homes, here in Sumter. So they didn't have to do it all. They put it out to everybody to do it, gathered up the greeting cards and delivered them to the nursing homes. Because, at that time, they weren't able to see their loved ones.
Yes.
So it's different things that are out there. There's a really great program that's called Reefs Across America. That is in Columbia, and during Christmas time, they are looking for volunteers to lay the Christmas wreaths on those thousands of graves, at the National Cemetery.
Wow.
Then they're also looking for people to help pick them up. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's but to get a recommendation letter from Fort Jackson, I always tell people with recommendation letters, letterhead speaks volumes. We had recommendation letters from the Salvation Army, from Department of Social Services, from Habitat for Humanity.
Wow.
The American Red Cross. We had those type of recommendation letters. So again, we put a lot of thought into doing this in order to stand out to the scholarship organizations.
Oh, very good. Wow. Two more.
Okay.
Preparation, everyone, is what I'm hearing. Are the state events in March for any student?
Yes. So so it will be the one for March 13th. Yes. So we prefer 8th, 9th grade on. We're all about preparation. So even if you meet with a scholarship organization whose deadline has passed, or it may be for a senior and it's a 9th grader coming in, I want my 9th graders to know, if you've lost a parent, okay, when you're a senior, the James Burns Scholarship will be available for you. We're all about preparation. And so a lot of these local and state level scholarships, the application process is typically the same. Each year, they may change the topic of their essays. So if you're prepared early for these scholarships, the easier it will be for you to win.
Wow. Okay. Well, last one is probably my favorite one right here. Do you have an email listserv where you send out information and updates and deadlines and just any type of information that might be relevant?
The best place for us is that we have 2 people that post our information on Facebook. So, and Instagram. Yeah, perfect. That's the best place. We post little tips. We'll post just random things. Like I think the other day I posted one of my students that was so proud that she still maintained straight A's even during the middle of COVID. Wow. And she's still applying for scholarships, and she still made 2 A's in her dual credit. So these are like some of the little things beyond just the scholarship posts that we share for parents and students as well.
That's amazing. And we'll get access to that, everyone, and make sure that we're sharing those social media handles. But Ms. Millsbauer, I want to thank you so much, everyone. I know you're home, but if you can just give a hand clap or just a awesome job to Ms. Millsbauer, thank you so much. And we have with us our Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, Dr. Lana Calloway, is here with us as well. And I'm going to allow her to share. She's been on listening and engaging. And Dr. Calloway, what do you think? You're on mute still.
Good evening. How are you all doing?
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for providing us great tips and strategies. I am a true testament as a mother. And as a family, we attended several of your scholarship opportunities, your workshops. We personally made a purchase of your resource, and it has assisted my daughter to attend college. So when Ms. Faith Arthur initially brought this opportunity to us, I said yes. Mr. John said yes. Our leadership team said yes. So we're here to provide all the necessary resources for our students. And we're so glad that we're able to partner with you. And just like I indicated, I believe in you. So thank you so much. And anytime that we need assistance from you, we will feel free to call you. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Calloway. Again, that's our Assistant Superintendent, Student Services, scholars, students, and parents. Dr. Calloway has been a champion for ensuring that everything we need for students is available for us. She works really hard to ensure that. So we definitely thank you, Dr. Calloway, for your support. Also want to take a moment and thank Mrs. Faith Arthur, our school counselor coordinator. Ms. Faith Arthur, thank you so much. And all the school counselor coordinators and career counselors that have been so supportive in ensuring that this process is important for our students and engage you all in the process. I want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Sean Foster, for his tremendous support in ensuring that we are giving our students the opportunities to be successful. And I want to thank Mr. David Marshall, our tech support today, who ensured that this was broadcasted live for everyone to experience. And Mrs. Piccolino from Communications, our Assistant Superintendent for Communications. Thank you, parents. Parents, thank you. I hope you engaged. I know I have 3 children. So as soon as we get off this, I'm pulling out some binders. Now I probably got to go shopping for some binders, and we're going to engage in this work because it was so life-changing. If you didn't hear it, we're going to make sure that we communicate with you more and more about this. Thank you, students, for engaging in the process as well. With this, again, this is all for you. Again, our department, the Department of Student Services, is here to help students discover the genius inside of each of you. Please follow up with your school counselors, career counselors for more information. The PACE program, I didn't say this earlier, but PACE stands for, watch this, Professional Assistance for College Prep Excellence. Check that out. Professional Assistance for College Prep Excellence. So we want you to pick up the pace when it comes to your scholarship attainment. We believe in you, like Dr. Calloway just said. We believe in you. Again, engage us for more information. Check out Ms. Faith Arthur and all career and school counselors, and we'll continue to engage you in the process of making sure you're ready for college and career. Thank you all so much again. Have a great evening, everyone.
All
We
right,
appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Milbauer.
Thank you, guys.
All
Thank you,
right,
Dr. Calloway.
bye-bye. All
Bye-bye.
right, thank you. Bye-bye.